UK startup Global Airlines, the startup that has attracted its fair share of skeptics, is continuing to prove the doubters wrong as its first Airbus A380 has touched down on British soil. The aircraft, carrying its new registration 9 Hotel Golf Lima Oscar Bravo Lima, obviously meant to spell global, flew out of storage and across the Atlantic at the end of April and beginning of May. Interestingly, it flew the entire time with its landing gear down and thus at a low altitude. Let's take a look at the jet's journey for today's video. So to recap the journey thus far, the A380 has been stored at Mojave Air and Spaceport since December 2022 and last flew commercially in February 2020. It's an ex-China Southern Superjumbo, aged 11.5 years at the time of making this video. Having transferred ownership to Global Airlines in January this year, the aircraft took a few test flights in mid-February before embarking on its transatlantic crossing with a refueling stop in Montreal. The jet was still in its full China Southern livery as it arrived in Prestwick. That itself was a disappointment, given some of the photos the airline had previously shared showing an A380 in its house livery. Eagle-eyed spotters noted that the aircraft maintained a 27,000-foot altitude during the nearly 8-hour crossing and kept its landing gear down for the flight. This suggests something wasn't quite right with the equipment. Commentary on social media indicated that the landing gear needs replacing after spending such a long time in storage. The gear down configuration was later confirmed by wet-lease specialist Highfly, the company that had the honor of getting this big bird to the UK from its desert storage location. In a statement released by the company, it said that the flights were operated with the gear down ahead of the required maintenance, thus slower and at a lower altitude, and the need for a fuel stop. Highfly added that its teams worked closely with Airbus and Global Airlines to understand which flight conditions would apply. It noted that the necessary jacks were not available in the Mojave Desert Airport, and so this meant that the Global Airlines A380 had to be ferried to Prestwick to undergo further maintenance before returning to the skies. According to Airbus guidance on returning parked aircraft to operations, for aircraft in parking beyond 4 months, landing gear retraction/extension and freefall extension tests have to be performed. One way to do this is to jack the aircraft and perform the tests at the storage site, or alternatively, perform a ferry flight with the landing gear down and locked, and head to another site where jacking is possible. It's almost impossible to verify, but we'd bet that this was the longest an A380 has intentionally been flown with its gear down. And so what do you think of this progress made by Global Airlines? Share your thoughts by leaving a comment.
In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.